Hello, viewers. It's Sentai Michael from Screen Reviews, bringing you a new podcast in my separate code, The Super Sentai Review. Like always, I'm going to speak very loudly, very clearly, and very slowly, in case you don't understand me. Also, I try to do my best not to breathe too hard during this audio podcast recording as well, not to cause the audio feedback as well. And finally, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language. Once again, if you're under 18, this audio podcast recording will change your adult language if you're under 18. Now, if you're over 18, that means you're going to watch this audio podcast recording. Before again, I like to say sorry for the late review. I had some things to do yesterday, so basically sorry I'm posting this review late. I had some things to do the other day. Anyway, let's get into the latest episode of King-Ohger. So basically, we see Rita, the pink King-Ohger, taking Jewel, the Red Ranger, the Red Ohsama Ranger. The Red King-Ohger Ranger to her nation, Giki. Giki is that pronouncing? Yeah, blah. Giki, I believe that's how you pronounce her nation that she rules over. So basically, Rita nation is the land of law. So basically, it's land of law and order. So basically, all the court cases, a lot of criminals and a lot of court cases go down in her kingdom, and she's like the head supreme judge of her kingdom, and also she rules it as well. So anyway, Jiren was acting all tough, put on a tough face, and still put on his whole Pirate King act. So basically, when Rita finally, when they finally got to her nation, Rita was had her servant Master. I believe that's how her name is. Her servant Master, who's this nice old lady, put Jiren in a in a snowman. Basically, she covered Jiren with snow, and basically Jiren was trapped in this snow body, this body of snow. So basically, Rita was cut the act. I believe you. Jiren was still acting like, I'm a tired king, and Rita was like, what the hell, cut the act. I believe that your act is not real. So basically, Rita is like, I know you're pretending to be this pirate king, but let's get serious here. You're in some deep shit. So basically, Jiren was like, all right. Yes. I was acting. I was pretending to be a tired king, but I had my reasons. So basically, Rita was like, well, I'll be your judge at your trial. So basically, that's for my nation. I am a judge. I'm not only just the ruler of my nation. I'm also a judge as well. This is my land. My land is, my land is basically it's the law and order. My nation is basically what everybody, what the other nations send their criminals to be judged by me and be punished by the law. So basically, until then, you'll be in prison here until your trial. So anyway, basically, while that was going on, so basically, meanwhile, while that was going on, back at Gary's nation, we see Colorado, the Black Ranger, talking to King Rackless. Sorry, Rattless. So basically, King Rattless that Given stole the soul moth before, and basically, King Rattless who wants to get in debt for, basically stealing his sword and basically committing treason by stealing his sword and whatnot. So anyway, Conrad was kind of pissed off that, Conrad said that, Rita has, Rita has Gearing in her custody. So basically, Rita's gonna put, it's gonna make sure that, that Gearing gets his. So basically, King Rattless was happy about that. But Colorado was like, why didn't you tell me about the Kabuto beetle being run by the Bagua? So basically, Colorado was kind of pissed that, that King Reckless did not tell him when he gave him the Beetlezoid, the Kabuto Beetlezoid, that the villains will go after it. So basically, turns out that King Reckless knows apparently that King Reckless knows about the treasure that the bad guys are looking for, and basically these three, and also that the Kabuto is one of the keys to this treasure. Turns out that the Scorpions and the Grasshoppers and the Kabutos are called the Three Godzords. So basically these Three Godzords are the key to finding this treasure that the villains are looking for. Basically, the Bawa villains are looking for. So basically, King, so basically, the king didn't want to tell King-Ohger anything else, and basically, I don't know what basically lied to King-Ohger that I did not know. It's pretty obvious that they probably wanted the Beetlezoid, to themselves, and that way we can't use it against it. And King-Ohger was like, okay. It seems like he didn't believe what the king. He believes that the king was lying to him and whatnot. So anyway, meanwhile, back at Rita's nation, Rita was talking to her servant Martha. Something Martha, something doesn't add up with Gearing. Don't you find it strange that he was able to use Ranger sword to more? So basically, the only way that can happen unless he is royalty. So basically, Rita's saying, that is a good question. I've been wondering that for a while as well. So basically, I think something's up here. So basically, Rita went into a room that had a lot of locks on it from the inside and left Martha. So basically, Rita told Martha to go do something for her, and she went into this locked room, locked the door, and turns out she is a stuffed animal lover. So basically, she had these stuffed animals that look like Yetis. Basically, she's a plushie lover. Basically, a person that loves stuffed animals. So basically, it's her secret. It turns out that she doesn't want anybody to know that she loves stuffed animals. So basically, this is her stuffed animal room. Her stuffed animals look like Yetis and whatnot. So basically, she was talking to her giant stuffed animals about this whole situation, about and about the whole Gearing situation. So anyway, basically after she had her conversation, with her stuffed Yeti animals, she decided to go do some questioning. So basically, she went to each nation, questioned King-Ohger, Himo, Yama and basically King Reckless about this about Gearing situation. So basically, she went to, so basically, she questioned all the other Rangers. Then, after she was done questioning, about Garen, she went to go to King Reckless, and basically, King Reckless was like, what's your, like, honestly, don't you find it strange that Garen was able to use your sword to morph, like, and King Reckless, like, whoa, what do you mean by that? So basically, seems like, King Reckless is like, was giving Rita a vague answers about that. So basically, like, Rita suspects that the king is hiding something, it's hiding a secret about Garen, about who Garen really is. And so basically, so basically, like, King Reckless had this gold sword in his hands, and basically, like, I don't know what you mean, I don't know what you mean. I find that kind of curious myself. So basically, I find that kind of curious myself. Basically, giving Rita a bait answer, and basically, like, and King Reckless was telling Rita, make sure that Garen gets the punishment that he deserves, cause if you don't, your nation will suffer. And basically, that's when Rita slapped King Reckless, and turned out the slap was just because the king had the mosquito on his face, and it went on his face. So basically, she like, oh, don't worry, the reason I slapped you because there was a mosquito on your face. So basically, like, King Reckless is like, yes, well, I can see that. It's on your hand, like, King Reckless said, all right, then, but remember what I said, make sure that Garen gets punished. Meanwhile, back at, Rita's country, Martha was talking to Garen in this cold prison cell somewhere in the castle, and basically, Garen said that, I did what I did for a good reason, for a good reason, not telling Martha that, about how King Reckless didn't, was going to, not telling Martha, Rita's servant Martha about King Reckless planning to invade the other Rangers nations and whatnot. So basically, like, Martha, like, heard, Martha was, told us that Martha was being watched, told us that the whole conversation between Martha and Garen was being watched by Rita from a location somewhere. And basically, Rita is like, they figured that Garen, figured that, something is really up here, and Garen must have a secret and doesn't want doesn't want anybody else to know. So basically, the big day. So basically, Rita took care of some Butler forces outside her castle courthouse that was looking for a treasure. They say, we're looking for a item that will lead us to a treasure. Digging outside her castle, she took care of them pretty quickly and whatnot. So basically, the day of Garen's trial came, and basically all the Rangers were there, including King Reckless and his two servants. So basically, Rita, being the judge, she said that and gave her judgment. So for giving Garen was about to say anything, and Rita's like, silence. Here's your judgment. I found Garen innocent. So basically, everybody in the courtroom was like, what the hell? Wait. Well, was looking like, Garen is innocent. So basically, like, King Reckless, what do you mean he's innocent? So basically, turns out, Garen must be dead. It turns out I thought during my investigation, I found out something very. I found out that during when I saw so basically I started when I saw Garen was able to transform back in the Sugar Kingdom. I started to investigate, and I found in your library that tells her that Garen is really your brother. So basically, King Reckless was like, was shocked that Rita figured out that Garen is actually his younger brother. So therefore, you can't technically he had the right to take the power of technically his actions were just since he was royalty. So basically you can't so basically his actions were royally just since he is your brother and royalty to the Sugar Kingdom. So basically, and also all the charges of him already other nations is also dismissed as well. So basically, we just say that him being a traitor, him being there's no just cause of him being a traitor or him invading other nations. So therefore, he didn't have any attempt of invading other nations or of escaping to other nations. So therefore, since he is royalty, he's your brother. So basically, since all the evidence adds up that he's not guilty, he was in his right to question your judgment. You're King Reckless. So basically, King Reckless was not happy about this, and he left the courtroom. And basically, the Baba came back and started. Sorry, I need to sneeze. So anyway, so basically, after King Reckless heard the judgment, Gil was shocked to find out that that he is the brother of King, and that he is a prince, and also the brother of King Reckless. So basically, he was shocked to find that out against the readers, against the reader's, investigation. So basically, and King Raptor said you can't prove that, but I already did. So basically, I had my servant master, got a DNA sample from Gearing, confirming, got a DNA sample from Gearing. I gave it to Hino, who is a doctor, and it confirms that, it confirms that he is your brother, and also I had Yama to check out the sword, and basically there's no way that the only way that Gil was able to transform into the Red Ranger is double check and make sure that double check and make sure the only way he can transform into the Red Ranger is unless he's from royal blood, that he is indeed your brother. The science and DNA proves it. So anyway, after King Reckless read, the butler showed up and basically started to attack readers. Started to attack readers. Started to attack readers. Courthouse / castle, and basically working together. Well, kind of working together as a team, or all the Rangers morphed up and basically took down the Butler's foot soldiers, and basically a giant Butler monster showed up, and basically they summoned the Megazord, and basically, even though there was arguing with each other, but they still managed to take down the giant buckwild monster, and basically the episode ended with them going their separate ways and agreeing that we the buckwild we need to agreeing that we need to work together to take down the Bagua, and they went their separate ways. And Garen said that like, well, I agree with you. I agree to work with you guys, but I need to go talk to my older brother. I need to go talk to my so-called older brother and have a conversation with him. So basically, the episode ended with each of the Rangers going their separate ways in the Zords, and Garen, going back to his nation to have a long conversation with his brother King Rattless, and basically that's how the episode ended. It well, not ended like this, but turns out that the Bugwa managed to get a stone that will lead them to the Scorpion Zone. Go to the Scorpion Zone. So basically, like Rita, after the attack was over, Rita saw a injured monster, and it turns out that the Bugler took a stone that will activate the Scorpion Zone. So basically, like Rita said, so the plot is thickened. So basically, we now know why the Bugler are looking for, what they were looking for in our nation, but what they're going to do with it, and basically that's how the episode ended on this note. So basically, Garen found out, it was pretty obvious that Garen was royalty, after he was able to transform, but I kind of doubt that King Reckless knew that Garen was his younger brother, but in the first episode, he was kind of shocked to see Garen transform into the Red Ranger, but maybe something happened to his memory or some shit, but we just have to wait to the next episode. But anyway, this was a good episode. Anyway, what do you guys think about this episode, this latest episode? Good, bad, or just okay? Please let me know. Anyway, so you're off. 1,